The stars, the sky, it's all a gigantic hoax, a lie. These famous words by Scaramouche are very true because the real sky of Teyvat is in the abyss. Now, the mention of the sky being fake happened once in 1.1 and it was never mentioned again until Dottore asked Nahida if she had ever heard the rumor that the skies of Teyvat are fake. He also went on to discuss with her, in exchange for the dendronosis, the truth of the world. Off screen, of course. Even though we have learned so much about Teyvat until now, this truth of the world that Lumine, Scaramouche and Dottore speak of still remains a mystery to us. The only clue, the sky is fake. Of course, this clue is not nearly enough to help us decipher what Teyvat is hiding, given how vague it is. The sky being fake can mean so many things. If the sky is fake, is the whole world of Teyvat fake? Is there something above the sky which explains why the sky is fake? And most importantly, how is the nature of Teyvat's sky related to the truth of the entire world? As it turns out, I can give you a simple explanation of why I think the real sky is in the abyss. Catherine says the words ad astra abyssos, which means to the stars and the abyss. The stars are in the sky and the abyss is below us, right? How can it be to the stars and the abyss? Another thing that we all know about, the spiral abyss. With each floor we clear, we are proceeding to go deeper into the abyss, and ideally we should be descending. But the stairs in the abyss go upwards. On the topmost floors, you can literally see the moon and the stars. Although the spiral abyss doesn't represent the entire abyss, its description says that it is an underground city constructed by an ancient civilization that is long gone. The purpose of the city remains unknown. This underground structure is a small part of the larger abyss. But how does the existence of a sky in the abyss prove that it is the real sky of Teyvat? Before we go any further, let's try to understand this. What exactly are the origins of the abyss? Legends in Teyvat say that before the existence of humanity, there were two realms, the light realm and the void realm. These two were diametrically opposite to one another and they were incompatible with each other, to the point where contact with the void realm would have detrimental effects. When the primordial one arrived, the human realm was created. While with certain adjustments the human realm was able to coexist with the light realm, the void realm had devastating effects to both. Which brings us to question, what do these realms translate to in the current landscape of Teyvat? The light realm is said to be the origin of elemental energy, while the void realm is the origin of what we now consider the abyss. These three realms also have features in place that seem to be similar to one another. The elemental currents of the light realm, the ley lines of the human realm, and the dark currents of the void realm. We learned this during the three-realm getaway quest in Enkanomiya. To further understand the nature of the world of Teyvat, let's look back at our journey in Enkanomiya. When we last visited Enkanomiya, we learned many things about the prehistoric civilization of Byakuyakuku and the people there. We also learned about the creator of humanity in Teyvat, the primordial one, rumored to be Fanis. Enjo told us that the information about the old world and the book which contained this information before Sun and Moon were the cause of the death of Orobashi and the destruction of the civilization, and he wanted to find the book to prove that Celestia did not belong to this world. Now, Celestia being otherworldly is very interesting, given what we learned about the Descenders, but I believe that that's not the only thing that they were trying to hide. According to Before Sun and Moon, the primordial one fought the 7 sovereigns of the light realm, the Dragon Kings. After they were defeated, the primordial one, along with its 4 shades, created the human realm, and the dragons fled to the depths of the ocean. Once the Primordial One created the human realm, the entire world was one unified civilization. The Primordial One genuinely seemed to care for the world that he created and the people of the world as well. There was peace and happiness until the second who came. As fate would have it, war began again, just like the time during the creation of the human realm. When the war between the Primordial One and the second who came took place, Enkanomiya broke off and fell into the depths of the ocean. At this time, the heavens collapsed and the human realm was disjointed, or as they described it, the earth was rent asunder. The oceans that Enkanomiya descended to were the same ones where the 7 sovereigns had fled. They suffered the wrath of the Wishaps that existed there. After many years had passed and this civilization wished to go back to the surface, for they believed the war on the surface would have certainly ended by then, they found out that the Primordial One had laid a ban on their return, preventing them from ever returning to their own home. Now, this turn of events made the person who wrote this book and the people of Enkanomiya believe that the Primordial One defeated the second who came. At this point, you have to admit that the people of Enkanomiya and their knowledge of the world is very limited, restricted even by their banishment to the depths of the ocean. Their belief that the Primordial One emerged victorious in the war is an assumption, for we know who rules the world of Teyvat now. If the Primordial One defeated the second who came, why did he not attempt to bring his people back to the surface? Also, the people of Enkanomiya were not the only people in the human realm. The unified civilization that Enkanomiya was a part of was a large population. Even if the Primordial One wished to banish the people of Enkanomiya, wouldn't the people on the surface remember them? And the most mysterious thing, if the Primordial One is truly the one on the celestial throne, why would it try to erase its own history in the world? It is safe to assume that the heavenly principles ruling Celestia right now are definitely not the Primordial One. But what does this have to do with the fake sky and the truth of the world? And how does it prove that the real sky is in the abyss? Now we know that Celestia won this war, but let me speculate what they did to win. Have you ever heard the theory that Teyvat is upside down? As I told you before, the Primordial One created the world in a way that humanity was able to exist along with the light realm, and that the void realm was harmful to both. It is said that the human realm was created between the light and void realm. Now, what if Celestia, in order to win the war, flipped the human realm and its people into the void realm, because they knew what would happen when humans came in contact with the dark currents of the void realm? When they were to do this, they would turn the true sky of the world that the Primordial One had created upside down as well, and it would exist in what we now know as the abyss. Yes, I know, this sounds like a bit of a reach, but let me explain. The theme of Teyvat being upside down goes well with ascending into the abyss instead of descending, but that is simply not enough to prove what I'm trying to tell you. If you have visited the desert, specifically the Valley of Dari, done the quest and seen the ruined golem there, you would know that Dari is actually the localized term for Khaenri'ah. Why was there an ancient war machine from Khaenri'ah in Sumeru? To fight abyssal monsters. But this didn't happen during the time of the Cataclysm. Khaenri'ah have had these machines for a long time before this. Across both ruined golems, there are mentions of the dark beasts that they were fighting. Even the Devantaka mountain has mentions of these dark beasts and how they were defeated by the heroes of Dari or Khaenri'ah. These dark beasts weren't found there during the Cataclysm. They were found there since ancient times. Why is this relevant? Now, we know that during the Cataclysm, the civilization of Khaenri'ah was corrupted and they became abyssal monsters. We have seen Hilichurls, Abyss Lectors, Abyss Mages, shadowy husks now belonging to the Abyss, but they were once the people of Khaenri'ah. When the nature of the Abyss was revealed to us back in 1.4, I was under the impression that the people of Khaenri'ah formed the entire Abyss. they were all the monsters that we had seen until then. But if this is true, who were the Khaenri'ahs making these ruined golems to fight? At a time that was before the Cataclysm, who were the Abyss monsters then? They were the unified civilization that the Primordial One created. Do you remember the Requiem of Echoing Depths quest in the chasm? We found an upside-down city in the nameless ruins of the chasm. It was covered in purple darkness, similar to the upside-down statue in Mondstadt, both signifying the presence of the abyss. Dane tells us that the ruins were similar to Khaenri'ah, but they seemed far more ancient. If you look closely, the ruins have a great similarity to the ruins of Enkanomiya. I believe that this upside-down kingdom was part of the unified civilization, the entirety of which was toppled over by Celestia. When we try to stop the Electro-Abyss Lector in the quest, his name is revealed to be the Baptist of the ancient civilization, signifying that he too once belonged to the human realm. The second who came is the Heavenly Principles, the one literally pulling the strings of Teyvat from Celestia. They knew how the void energy affects humanity, and they used it to win the war against the Primordial One. Let us now look at what we know about Irminsul. When Tighnari describes Irminsul, he says it is a tree located deep beneath the surface and that it grows downwards rather than upwards. This would imply that the tree itself was upside down, growing towards the sky in the abyss. Now, whether this tree was created by the Primordial One or Celestia, or it has existed before the creation of this world, is not known. But it is said to be a repository of information, extending from the surface to the depths of the abyss. We know of two withered Irminsul trees in Teyvat, one in Dragonspine and one in the chasm. Both these places also have celestial nails. They are said to be the very thing that withered them. Did these trees contain information that Celestia wished to hide? When we see the Scarlet King's story, it shows us the adverse effect of forbidden knowledge. Purple streams flowed through the desert, corrupting the people and the soil of his kingdom. It took the greater Lord Rukkhdevata using her power and the death of the Scarlet King to prevent the blight from spreading. Even so, Irminsul stayed corrupted, and it took the deletion of Rukkhdevata to get rid of the forbidden knowledge that caused the withering. Rukkhdevata tells us that the forbidden knowledge doesn't belong to this world and cannot be understood, but when it is pursued, it causes corruption. She also says that it comes from the bottom of the abyss. If we consider that Teyvat is upside down, the depths of the abyss would be right below us, making the source of this forbidden knowledge a lot closer than you think. This is the truth that Celestia is trying to hide. It also makes one wonder, what else has Celestia tried to erase? If they can go to the length of destroying a civilization to remove any trace of information of an old god, if a tree exists that can wipe the memories of people, change stories and legends, what else could they do to prevent their secrets from being revealed? And more importantly, how many times would they be willing to hide the truth of Teyvat? Zhongli, in his second story quest, tells the traveler, "There are events of the ages past, many secrets that lie hidden. They have been eroded by time, forgotten by people, abandoned. But you are capable of finding them and bringing them to the light. Those who are born to witness will witness. Those who are born to remember will remember." Thank you so much for watching the video until the end. Let me know your own ideas for the truth of the world and Celestia's motives in the comments below. I might make a follow-up to this theory because I could not fit all my ideas in this one video. Also, I stream thrice a week at twitch.tv/Pixieebub, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.